Look inside yourself, Rosemary.
As you are also moving forward on a gun buyback program across the country that is having, I would say, it's not clear whether it's going to be ultimately successful given some provinces don't want to participate. Do you know if the weapons used would have fallen under the gun buyback program?
Gang, what's up? Aaron, Canadian Looney. So we have our public safety minister, and he's a disappointment. Paper Tiger Gary Anandasangaree. What a scumbag. He's here acting like he's upset. He's not. He doesn't care. They're going to turn this crisis into an opportunity to take away more of your rights. Let's get this straight. Gary Anandasangaree, you're a scumbag. Rosie, do your job. Show Canadians that this public safety minister has nothing to offer Canadians. Let's take a look. If Rosie's going to do her job, do your job, Rosie.
I do want to ask you a couple of questions about what we know about what happened. As you know, in 2023, there were new federal laws that came into effect that would allow firearms to be removed from homes where they believe that an individual poses a safety risk to themselves or others. In this instance, with the shooter, the firearms were later returned to the home because the owner of the guns petitioned for them to be returned. First of all, do you know if those guns were owned by the shooter or by the shooter's mother? Do you know that?
There are a lot of questions that will need to be answered. As you're aware, the investigation is ongoing. So I think once the investigation is complete, and RCMP is committed to providing more information on this issue itself, but broadly on the investigation overall.
And I'm going to keep asking questions, and we'll see whether you can fill in any of the blanks, Minister. The red flag, this is called a red flag law, just so people understand. Do you know why that petition was accepted and why guns were allowed back into that home?
I'm not aware of the circumstances. There's some speculation. There's some information provided by Deputy Commissioner McDonald a couple of days ago. But I think for now, the plethora of questions that are being posed, whether it's to me or to the RCMP or to others in the community, I think we'll have to wait until the investigation is complete, but more importantly, until the grieving process is complete. Like, this is very raw. As people were preparing for Family Day on Monday, some families are having to figure out funeral arrangements for their kids. There's 2 kids right now who are clinging to their life, Maya and Paige and their family. So I think there's a range of questions that people will rightfully have, and there will be answers forthcoming. I will be there to provide those answers, as well as the RCMP, but also to look at what the short and midterm and long-term work that we need to do. But for the purpose of now, it is about grieving, and it's about supporting the community in probably one of the worst times in their history.
Yes, and please understand that these questions are not meant to take away from that or diminish that, but the questions are present already, and there will be, I think, a need by the community to have answers to some of the things I'm asking. So I'm simply trying to see whether you know things that I don't know specifically. So I'm just going to go back to the issue of the red flag legislation, because I know back in the fall you funded a number of organizations across the country to sort of raise awareness about this legislation. Do you think that this legislation, red flag legislation, is working broadly? Do you have any way of determining whether it has made a difference?
I think the questions around whether our laws are effective and what we need to do to strengthen them, again, will be answered. And I go back to what the immediate concerns are, which is, the community that needs support and love to heal and to start that healing process. The range of questions that are in the public domain, whether it's through social media or through other snippets of information people have, it's premature for us to make any types of conclusions without having the RCMP fully offer their perspective on the investigation, and we our commitment as a federal government, my personal commitment is to be there to answer those questions and to respond accordingly. But as the Prime Minister is going out with other party leaders to support the community in mourning, all Canadians, I think, are united in our grief and united in our resolve to ensure that this never happens again.
Right. And again, the questions I'm asking are in that line, and I understand you maybe don't have the answers yet because the RCMP is investigating. I'm going to ask one more, though, because
Just a friendly reminder to smash the like, hit subscribe.
you are also moving forward on a gun buyback program across the country that is having, I would say, it's not clear whether it's going to be ultimately successful given some provinces don't want to participate. Do you know if the weapons used would have fallen under the gun buyback program?
At this point, there is no clarity on that. And again, I will wait for the RCMP to give us additional information.
What is the federal government doing then to support the community, other than, of course, your presence and the Prime Minister's presence? What practically can you do here?
We have already spent the last couple of days in Tumbler Ridge. We met with the mayor along with Mr. Robertson, as well as Premier Eby and Minister Krieger, along with local elected politicians, including Bob Zimmer, who's the MP for the area. Our commitment clearly to them from a federal perspective was to support the community in every which way they need support. We will have regularized coordination calls for the province. As is, when we met with Northern Health, they required additional resources for mental health support. The province is advancing that. We have a range of supports that are available, including income security for parents who are grieving the passing of their children, as well as others who may have significant impacts, including other kids' families from the school who are traumatized and who may not be able to go to work. So we will have that available. We'll have Service Canada personnel on the ground starting Tuesday, so right after Family Day. We will have public safety officials there as well to coordinate broader supports, whether it's on mental health and youth and other types of support that people need. The bottom line here is that we will be there with the community every step of the way. We will support the province of British Columbia, and we will work in tandem with them to offer assistance of any kind that the federal government may be able to do.
All right. Minister Anandasangaree, thank you for taking my questions. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Rosemary.
We'll wrap it up right there, gang. Aaron right here, Canadian Looney. Smash the like, hit subscribe, get your Canadian, mostly federal politics right here. We cover other things as well, but you'll have to check out the site. It's another reason to subscribe. Please leave a comment below. I'm always curious to hear what people have to say. That's it. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Ciao for now.